Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 5, episode number 11. Tonight's the sports edition, Andy.
Yes, it is.
So I'm Dan. This is Andy. We got a special guest here, Matt, joining us from Beer Belly Sports. Welcome.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Welcome to the show. He's a great follow. His brand actually on Facebook and social media. But we'll talk more about it. But he's our special guest for sports. Our sports edition is tonight. It's January 15th, 2024. And once again, welcome. We've been wanting to chat for a while. Glad to have you on the show now. Hopefully we'll be in touch again for future shows. But you're based in Bemidji, right?
That's what they tell me. It's a great place in the summer, but in the winter it's cold and it sucks when it's cold. But it brings in the tourist, I guess. But yeah, it sucks when it's cold like this.
Yeah, my daughter, she went to college up there at BSU.
Nice.
She graduated a couple years ago. And I got family up in that area, up over McIntosh.
Oh, it's a little more west of here.
Yeah, about a half hour down the road. Yep. So I'm familiar with the area up there.
Nice.
The cold and everything else.
And we cover a lot of Bemidji State sports here on the show as well. So we represent, and so that's always a good thing up there. So what we've got is really a show tonight on Minnesota-based sports. Really Vikings, Twins, Timberwolves, Wild, Gophers, the whole shebang. And where do you want to start, Andy?
Well, I guess we'll talk a little bit about the Vikes because the season's over. A lot of our teams are dropping, especially after the Dallas loss yesterday. A lot of scuttlebutt going around about, there's always the coaching carousel in the NFL. Coaches all kind of rotate around. There's a little word there might be a quarterback carousel this year. Matt Stafford might go somewhere else. Dak Prescott going somewhere else. Do you think they'll let Cousins go somewhere else, or do they re-sign him?
I would say you have to sign him, and I said this on our show on Beer Belly Sports that you got to keep him at least 2 years. He's a good mentorship. Whoever you bring in, now it all depends who falls down to that draft position that you're going to get. Now, we've also discussed that maybe it's not a quarterback. Maybe it's defense you need help with, and you just kind of just roll with it. I mean, if whoever say like Penix falls or if J.J. McCarron falls, if one of those two falls down to the 11th position, take him. But if that doesn't happen, you go with a guy by Dallas Turner from Alabama. I like him a lot. He's good. Great edge rusher. He's a 3-4 type of guy. The defense that the Vikings do run is a 3-4. Makes sense to have an edge rusher because more likely you're going to probably lose Danielle Hunter.
Yep. And also, I've heard KJ Osborne might be going too.
Yeah,
he could be a trade bait. So, now you're going to be able to move up a lot for him if you get other picks. Second, third round, you get good defensive players too.
Yeah, that's right. There are some good. I mean, this whole draft is filled with good defensive players. I mean, you already touched on with Turner, but there's so many good linebackers, and the Vikings need help in the linebacking core, not just middle linebacker. Hicks is a good player, but I don't know how long he's going to last. He obviously got hurt this whole year, or most of this year he was hurt. You brought Barr back for a little bit, but you saw a very, very little of Barr. But then you look at who else could be someone out there. I mean, could you go through the free agency? Who's going to be out there? I don't know exactly who's going to be out there for the free agency market for linebackers, but there has to be somebody for that they can push for, even though the cap is very, very thin. And in the words of Reisner, or what he said the other day to Paul Allen, there's bigger fish to fry. Meaning, there's Kirk and there's JJ. To look after. And I believe that those two are more higher in the priorities than like some of the other players.
And Harrison Smith might be hanging it up too.
And that's, I think a lot of us saw that coming the past couple of years. He doesn't look active like he used to be. I think he got, what the kids call this, nerfed. He got nerfed in a way where he can't do the same things that he used to. He can't make the hard hits anymore. He can't do the same tackles anymore. His style has changed completely, and I think he's just done. I don't know if he's just ready for like a new team or just be done in general. Now, hot take, not really hot take, but humble brag. My sister's actually really good close with Harrison Smith because they used to work with each other at a charity. I mean, he used to do Big Brother, Big Sister. She actually developed his logo that he has for his charity, so that's pretty cool too.
Nice.
But yeah, Harrison hates the media. He hates being around media. He absolutely hates it. And he doesn't like doing interviews. He doesn't like doing anything, that the media would love. He doesn't do anything, but he does like doing fundraising and community stuff, obviously, like most NFL athletes. But yeah, I believe Harrison probably will be done at the end of this year, which is going to clear a lot of cap room for the Vikings.
Right. And, I think we're okay on the offensive line. As much as everybody says we need help there, I think that's good. We got to worry about the defensive side of the ball, trades, drafts, free agency.
Yep.
Stuff like that from there. Coaching wise, until the last couple of games of the year, I really thought our defensive coordinator was going to be gone as a head coach somewhere. But I think the way they played the last two games, kind of like Dallas last night, he's staying put. He ain't going anywhere.
I agree. I don't think Flores or B-Flow, they call him. B-Flow is probably not going to go anywhere. Bruce and I actually have a bet going on. I'm saying that he's going to stay as the Vikings defensive coordinator. Bruce has a field on where he's going to go to become the next head coach. So that has to happen sometime this upcoming year. But that's kind of a friendly bet. We do a lot of bets on the show, too. A lot of it's the shots that we have over here that we do, and let him pick his own poison, what he wants. And usually it's Jack or we have apple pie moonshine that actually works pretty good. Actually, since we're talking about it, I'll just go.
Well, since you brought it up,
I'll go get it for you. All right.
Be smart in the chair.
I almost fell. I stepped on an old can that was underneath me. All right, so we have this apple pie moonshine, which is really good. I mean, I'll only take a shot now with it because that's how good it is.
Now, where's that made? Is that local here?
No, that's in Chippewa, Wisconsin.
Okay.
One of my best friends lives over there, so let's go pick some up. So, yeah, free ad, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we had a bet between Dan and I for the baseball season.
Okay.
About the Twins, how many wins they'd have, and I got a case of hams out of the deal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, 30. It had to be a 30-pack, not a normal case, but that was it. I bet the Twins would get 92 wins on the season, and that didn't happen. So,
hey, the 30 rack is way to go for hams. We used to do the same. We used to do the same thing for baseball and softball. We get a 30 rack if someone messes up, and softball. It's generally more for softball beer, and man, there was good times. I mean, we done Schmitz, we done. High Life. Well, High Life is okay, but it's one of those like High Life is more like you got to kind of like hams. You got to drink it quick, otherwise it gets skunky pretty quick.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, I totally understand of getting hams because hams is pretty good.
I mean, it's our working class beer. It's what we have here.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of baseball, now we're town ball is kind of a big thing for us.
Mm-hmm.
We got the DRS and the Crow River League down here in the metro area. We follow pretty tight. We've had some guys from those teams on in the past. But when they have the state tournament, I noticed Bemidji has made the tournament a couple times.
Yes.
That's
the Bemidji Blue Ox has been one of the best. They usually just pluck guys from Bemidji State here. They play at the same place. Okay. So you see a lot of the similar guys who played at Bemidji State playing on the Blue Ox, and usually, like you said, they go to state almost every year.
Yep. If not, they just miss it. But yeah, that's how some of the teams are down here. They kind of go under the radar. Then college is over. Then they got to they get those college players back. And just in time. Just in time. Now,
I love it.
Is town ball pretty big up there, or is it just because Bemidji does well? It's popular in that area.
Not really. I mean, I grew up playing town. Not to say grew up, but I played town ball for a long time, and up north, not as much. I had a cup of coffee with the Blue Ox, but then I had kids and I worked a lot on the weekends, so it was really tough to play on the weekends for the Blue Ox. But and I'm not saying I wasn't anything good. I wasn't really good. I was okay. I could hold my own. But no, it's to answer your question. There wasn't really there's not really a lot of people who like town ball. I mean, people like it, but it's not like a thing they want to go see. Up north, it's more of hockey. I mean, this is obviously the state of hockey. You see a lot more hockey players up here than anything else.
Yeah, because I know when you guys had Hockey Day in Minnesota up there a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago already?
4, maybe 4 or 5. Yeah.
I think Abby was still in college, so yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, so hockey's been up there. College team, they're fun to watch.
Yep.
How's that? Is that fair enough to say about the Beavers?
Yeah, they're fun to watch. They're very streaky. Now, as I want to be really critical with the Beavers, because as of late they kind of been in a way ugly in some ways, because they do the normal dump and run type stuff with hockey, with hockey, and it gets really annoying. Like very annoying that we can't just go to the net and just start sticking it to them. Now, the other night, last week, I think they played Ferris. They put it to Ferris. I think it was like 4-0. Then the next, it was flipped. I think it was like 5-2 or something. It was like what the hell is happening here? So it's a very streaky team. Some weeks you'll see really good Beavers team. The other week you're like, what the hell is happening to this team?
Yeah, and Beaver football is pretty exciting up there at the Chet.
Beaver football is probably one of the best things you'll see for football up here in the north. Or they're rated. I'm not rated. They're ranked. Usually, I think the past 5 years they've been in the top 25. The past 5 years in D3. So they are a pretty good team. Not D. Is it D3 or D2? I think D2.
D2.
They're pretty damn good, and I'm excited. We're actually going to have Brett Bolte on the show in the next couple of weeks too. We're going to talk about his recruiting class, the recruiting, I'm going to get in the mind of the recruiter and the coach. Like, what does it take? Obviously, you got a coach, but I'm going to go past that. I want to know what does it take to become a recruiter? What's all the steps you got to do into recruiting, and what's some of the pitches that he does as a recruiter? So that's some of the things I want to talk with him when he comes on the show in the next few weeks.
I think the funniest thing when watching Beaver football is the homecoming game.
Oh, love it.
They all go in the lake if they won. You could tell what kids aren't from Minnesota. They're like ankle deep in the water. Everybody else is diving in head first in the shoulder pads. The others are the ankle deep going, you guys are all a bunch of crazy son of bitches. You know?
Yeah, it's a tradition like no other. I think it's one of the greatest traditions in college football. It doesn't get a lot of recognition like they should, but if the Beavers win, they go jump into the lake, which is Lake Bemidji is literally right beside the campus. So a lot of people literally go jump into the lake, and they have a good time with it. And we have a good time throughout town because homecoming is a blast here in Bemidji.
Yeah, we were there 1 year for homecoming when Abby was up there as a student, and she was in the sorority up there on campus. So she found out the week there that homecoming was fun. So
yeah, the cool people, the sorority people, the cool people.
Yes, the classy, civilized ones.
Yeah.
Or so they told themselves.
Yeah.
And again, now hockey, the basketball up there is fun to watch.
Yep.
And
there's go ahead.
You say about the football team, it's kind of like I used to student coach at NDSU back in the day, basketball there. And I asked one of the other guys there, I said, why would someone play at NDSU compared to, say, the U of M or something like that? And he goes, our starters are their seventh man on the bench. And I think that's kind of the pitch they could use for football at BSU also. You could start here and get your good education, or you can ride the pine over at NDSU. Either way, you're not going pro, so do you want to play ball or not?
Yeah. What year were you at NDSU?
91, 92.
Okay.
Tom Billiter's first year there.
Okay, because one of my friends in high school graduated because I'm originally from Pierre in South Dakota, and one of my friends graduated, went to NDSU as a basketball player, Michael Tweet, and he was a phenomenal basketball player. Like I was his second fiddle behind him in every fucking sport, and it sucked.
Yeah, when I was there, it was Tom Billiter's first year coaching, and the men were going through a total rebuilding year. And the girls were in the middle winning 5 national championships in a row. So practice was night and day. Night and day practices.
Another thing about NDSU, and I blame this. Okay, so my first year, or not first year, but my semester at the University of Minnesota was Tim Brewster's first year.
Okay.
So much hype. He did not recruit anybody in state. So I believe that NDSU got all the Minnesota great players. And that's how NDSU got all their national championships because of Tim Brewster. I blame
Brewster gets credit for winning national championships just for another team.
Yeah, there's that. I hate Tim Brewster with a huge passion.
Yeah, there's not many people on the Tim Brewster fan club, I don't think.
No, he likes to delete a lot of people on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. But yeah, it's I'm not a fan of him. Just talk. I mean, some people say when PJ Fleck came to town, like, oh, just another Tim Brewster. In a way, I believe that, but at the same time, I mean, PJ Fleck's another story we can talk about another time. Don't get me wrong. I like PJ. I believe in him. He just needs to not be a coach. Recruiting,
Right.
great. Be a recruiter, but not coaching. You can't coach with shit.
Yeah, just he's missing that. It's kind of the guy who's the good salesman but can't run a company. You know, he'd be a great coordinator, maybe, or recruiter, or run practice, but get off the game field.
Hey, what's your guys' thoughts on Jerry Kill? He just got hired again now, right?
Yes.
This is his 7th team he's been with since he's been with the Gophers. That's a red flag to me. If he's been bouncing around, what the hell is he trying to do? What is he trying to prove? Don't want to be a dick, but is he trying to have another episode on the field again?
Yeah, is there a record for most teams coached by one guy or something? I don't know.
It's just a red flag to me when I see a guy who bounced around a lot in the past. So 7 teams since he's been here. God, how long ago was that?
Well, it's like an employee when you hire him.
Which is bad. You don't want an employee who's bounced around from job to job. It doesn't look good.
Right. I mean, he's done well at his jobs, don't get me wrong, but you still don't want a guy like that.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Yeah.
No. We got the Wild or the Wild right now. I don't know what to say there.
I'm calling it the Minnesota Pile. Even though they won tonight against the Islanders 5-0, but when is the other foot going to fall? You're still pretty far out on actually like being in the playoffs. And I think just coast, screw it. Let's not bring anybody because there's a lot of money sitting on the IR right now. A lot of money. So let's just coast. Let's just worry about next year right now. You got your coach. Even Billy G will say that he's not having a good year. Obviously, I mean it's not hard to find out, but I don't know. It's just kind of meh. It could be way better, obviously, but yeah, you have a lot of guys who sit on the IR right now that probably could be better.
Yeah, just play, stay healthy, don't get hurt, work on some stuff, and get ready for next year. Just that's all I'm waiting for with the Wild.
I agree.
Don't get me wrong, fun to watch.
Well,
Gopher hockey, men's and women's.
Andy, we should get Matt's thoughts on the Wild jerseys that look like the North Stars.
Oh yes.
Any opinion on that?
Jerseys, and they use the North Star colors.
I like the idea of it, the concept. Even though unfortunately the Dallas Stars has the original stuff, and I hate when I see the Stars wear it or have the North Stars logo. It pisses me off because I don't like Dallas. I mean, if you're a Minnesota fan, you don't like Dallas Stars at all for obvious reasons. But I mean, you can see Suter if you want to throw him in the mix. But losing the Wild, how was it? 93? When the hell was that? When did the Wild lose? Or when did no one take them out from it? Yeah, I mean they were the finals for what was it?
94, 95 was it or something like that?
Wow, way off.
91, I think.
Okay, and they had moved, I think, in 93. So I know it wasn't very far off when they actually moved. But yeah, that's such disappointing. And now we have a team who kind of went, and we're not doing very good. I mean, we're okay. We usually get just like any other Minnesota team, it gets bounced in the first round. I mean, you could insert your team here on what team that is. But yeah, it's go back to the original question about the North Stars uniforms. I mean, I like the color scheme. I get it. It's brings back the old stuff, but it's still not the North Stars. And don't get me wrong, when I play NHL 24, I rock those North Stars sweaters all the time. That's a team that I rock with.
Oh yeah, the North Stars. I remember as a kid watching the old North Stars Bruins fights all the time.
Hell yeah.
And
Blackhawks.
Seacourt still sucks, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that shit either. But hey, it is what it is, though.
Just those rivalries back then, the old Norris when hockey had the Norris division, the Campbell Conference, and Adams. That's what I liked. It didn't become corporate. Hockey was still its own thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Timberwolves are quietly doing well.
Timberwolves, I believe they are leading the league in not points, but in the conference, not conference. What the hell am I going to say? Division, and everything else. They're number one, and good. They should be. Now, again, here it comes back to the old stuff of when is the other foot going to fall? Are we going to be bouncing the first round like any other Minnesota team?
That's why it's hard to get excited for, because it's like it's going to happen pretty soon. Something's going to happen.
Yeah,
someone's going to get hurt and they'll fall off the face of the earth. Something.
Yep, and it will, because that's the Minnesota way.
Yeah, it's the way it's done. The way it's done. I mean, and I look at it this way too with them is with the Timberwolves. I like watching the team. They're fun to watch, but we have no bench. Anthony or Carl Towns goes down, we're 500 again.
Yes, you are. You're back to 500. You have Nas Reese, who comes off the bench, but Nas can't do everything himself. You need more players. Now, hopefully, when the trade deadline comes up, you get bench players. You need bench players. Just find some bench players who actually can perform and play to the level that you've been playing. Defense has been pretty good. I mean, I don't know what it is. They struggle. Either they struggle out of the gates and they dominate at the end, or they did what they did last Tuesday or Wednesday, where they came out firing and then just coasted and almost lost the game because they just said, we'll just slow up.
Yeah, I mean, you put your foot on their throat and you just keep going. You don't lay off.
I agree.
Now, let's get to the important stuff here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the good stuff.
The beers. You got the Pabst Blue Ribbon stuff on.
I do. I'm literally waiting.
I thought that'd be like Busch Light or Natty Ice or something.
Okay, hold on. So if you want to go that route, hold up. Let me go to the
scab,
bar
I think.
page.
It's a pretty good logo, by the way. I do like it.
I do. I'm actually waiting for PBR actually to come down on me on it. Be like, hey, what the fuck? But we'll cross that bridge when it gets there. So got the Busch. I got the PBR, which is actually Bruce's favorite PBR. Oh,
okay.
That's not even on camera. So
there we go.
There's that one. There is some, I'm not gonna lie, there may or maybe some White Claws in here, but they're not mine. There's the one.
Nice, of course.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
In case you have company over.
Yeah, and tons of whiskey and other stuff. And so a quick shout out, because I'm a huge whiskey guy and I'm become more and more of a Jack fan, but it's called the light's kind of bright, but it's Jack Daniel's cider. It's actually pretty damn good, and a lot of places only got like a case of it. Like most liquor stores got about a case of it. This is called the Winter Jack Tennessee Spice Apple Punch. To be honest, I haven't opened it yet, but this would probably be good with a Sprite or a 7-Up, whatever you want to do. But I'm more of a beer guy. I like Busch. I like Coors. I like Miller Lite. I don't care. I just like beer. Now I can't do Bud Light because the hops in it, the rice and the hops get my acid reflux, and it says, "Fuck you, you ain't doing that." So that's why I have to stick with like later pussy beer like Busch Light and Miller Lite. But I like Miller Lite because of the taste. Coors Light goes down pretty good for me. Busch does okay for me too. When it's summer out, we get the Natties. Oh, fuck, they're good.
Natty Ice.
We got one thing coming up here. We've gone to a couple times every year down at Medina Entertainment Center down here. February 18th is the Hams Beer Festival.
Ooh,
it's all old school beer supplies, signs, ashtrays. Hams, Olympia, Schmidt, the old glass ashtrays. Schlitz. It's just a blast.
Yeah.
The Hams Bear is there. I mean, what Christmas card picture opportunity right there.
Perfect. We need to get into that. I think Beer Belly Sports should go down there and just
February
wrap it up
18th.
With the February 18th pen. Here it is.
It's at Medina Entertainment Center.
Yeah, every year they do it, and it's all sorts of the vendors from old school stuff, but it's put on by Hams. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, from 9 to 3 that day. We got Hams up for sale. You can walk on drinking your beers, looking at old school stuff.
I love it.
If you got the collectors, you got the signs there. Clean out the truck, clean out the bank card, and come on down. And
sorry, man, mortgage you getting paid this week. Fuck it.
Just tell the bank I'm sorry, but look at this cool sign.
Sorry. Yeah, but look at this cool sign we got.
That's right.
A lot of man cave stuff there for sale. A lot of man cave stuff.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Well, so this bar that I have, this whole thing is a man cave / game room / studio / get the hell away from everybody else place.
Yep.
And I absolutely love it. So I generally do it when I come home. I let dogs out, feed them, and then I just go to the man cave, say, "Well, see you later," because she likes to have her own space too. And she's like, "All right, you going to play with the boys?" Yep. Okay.
So it's just you and your lady partner there. The kids are all gone.
Yep. My oldest lives in New York, and my daughter lives in she lives here, but she's like 10 minutes away from me. I have her every other weekend, so it's basically just her and I and the dogs. So
okay,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you just gotta go upstairs every now and then, make sure she's still home. Like, you're still here, right? Okay.
Yeah, but she'll text me or snap me, be like, "Hey, I'm leaving." All right. Do you need anything? Nope. Or she'll ask me, "Hey, can you get the heating pad?" I'm like, "Fuck!" So I gotta get up and go do that.
She hasn't had mail there for a few days. You get a little suspicious,
Yeah, when she doesn't come in for a while, and I'm like, either she's dead, she found somebody else, which I don't blame her. She's a huge Steelers fan, so she loves TJ Watt. And I say, like, you know what? If you see TJ, she said, if I see TJ Watt, I'll probably end up leaving. I'll be like, "Fuck, I don't blame you."
Yeah,
I would
leave you for TJ Watt.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, I would too. Not gay, but I would probably leave you for TJ Watt too.
Yeah, there's a few of those. And we each have our laminated 5 with the wife. If this celebrity came by,
hell yeah,
see ya.
Yep, that's ours too. So mine is from one. I have 3. Mine is oh shit, I can't remember her name. From Jennifer Aniston, number 1. I don't care how old she is. That's number 1. Number 2 is Miranda Lambert. I don't care, still would. And number 3 is Kelly Kapowski.
Yes,
from Saved
Tiffany
by the
Amber Thiessen.
100%. Yes, I knew it was Tiffany. Thank you for knowing her name.
Nice. Yes. We're here to educate.
Her and I are tight on Instagram back and forth. Yes.
Yeah. I bet you guys talk all the time.
Yes,
long time friends.
We like each other's stuff all the time. All the time. Yes.
All the time.
Just like Lita Ford.
Yeah. Well, Lita Ford. We had that restraining order going on, and we had to,
You did. Andy,
I met her I met her a few years ago when I was actually in radio in Sisseton. Super nice.
I've heard some interviews with her. She is just really loves the sound of her own voice too when you do an interview. She's great.
Yeah, there's that too. I mean, that's kind of me too. I like those sound. I mean, when you're in radio, you kind of like your own sound of your voice. You just get used to hearing yourself constantly.
To tell you the truth though, I don't think I've heard a full episode of ours yet in 4 years.
Really?
I'll listen to the first beginning to make sure the sound went over, and I'm done.
You know what? To be honest, I usually do that too. I mean, I did that for so many years. And working in radio, I heard my own self. I mean, I'll go back through my promos. I'll go back through my old liners and stuff that I used to make. But man, I have to go back because I got to edit. And if I don't have to edit, I just go done. Well, see you later. Send her out.
That's what we don't edit. This is what we record. We push out. We're done.
I love it. Well, when there's been a few other drinks, and let's say Bruce was drinking at 1 a.m. for a Christmas show, and I didn't get done until 6, and he was drinking the entire time, he came here hammered. And I was like, "Welp, shit, this is gonna be fun." And we had a display go, not really display, but a game that we're going on to my back over here, and it got interesting. It was fun. It's really hard to tell you like what actually happened, but it was a game that it was put together, like his daughter and his wife put the game together, drawn really beautifully, but the execution of the game, I don't think was all there. I love Bruce. Bruce is the man. He is obviously he's the face of the franchise. He's one of my favorite people to be around. But that kid, some days when he drinks too much, it's fun. He gets a little out of hand, but it's good.
There's one in every.
It's definitely not a bad fun. There's always one. And
There's one
it's
in every
not
group.
bad. It's just fun.
Right.
He's awesome.
Right.
Now,
No.
Matt, who else is in your group there? Beer Belly Sports. List off the roster. Is there 3 of you guys?
There is 3 of us. We're adding a 4th one because Dustin is. I'm gonna put him on IR. No, not really IR, but he's more of a week to week because his work schedule and his daughter's volleyball schedule is getting kind of crazy. So he's more of a week to week type thing. But it's Dustin Patton is the other guy. I actually work with Dustin, so I see him all the time. Otherwise, Bruce Legg is the other guy, and then of course me and Matt Geffrey. But we're gonna add another guy, Scott Wilson. He's gonna be the 4th guy because I like talking a lot, but I like working behind the scenes, working with my button bar, I'm more of a producer by heart, and that's where I want to stay and let those 3 guys talk. But yeah, that's kind of the roster for now. I don't want to make any big serious changes because I mean there is some changes that are coming up down the road. I mean, hopefully some good changes. Wink, wink, wink. When that cat's out of the bag, I'll let that one out. But I'll say it's a good change, and it's hopefully be fun and profitable for some people. But nonetheless,
are all 4 of you from the Bemidji? Are the other 3 guys all from the Bemidji area?
Yeah, Dustin lives here in town. He's from Black Duck, which is a little bit north of Bemidji, and then Bruce is he is from here, and Scott's from Grand Forks.
Oh, okay.
Not Grand Forks. Sorry, Grand Rapids, not Grand Forks.
Okay.
And how long have you guys been around as a group, as a company?
As well, Beer Belly Sports started. God, how long have we started? 5, 6. How long have I been up here? Now 9 years up here. Probably 7 years itself, on and off. We started off as Beer Belly Sports. I started with a guy here at RP Broadcasting. His name is Steve-O, and him and I had sat down one day and said, "Hey, we should do a podcast together. Let's talk about sports and music and other stuff." And he's a hard rocker guy, and I grew up country, and he absolutely hates country, and he works on a country radio station, and it drove him nuts, and I made fun of him for it. He's just one of those guys that he has that deep voice, and he can anchor the show, and that's what I was looking for. I need someone who can anchor the show, and me just work behind the scenes. We eventually brought over a guy. Next guy was Mitch Kane, who was we call him the 4th liner from BSU. He was a hockey player for BSU, and he was a 4th liner, and he's actually pretty good. Oops, caught the beer. The old first baseman trick. Oh no, lost half of it.
Whoops.
Oh no.
Man down.
Hold please. Man down. Oh,
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence for that beer.
So he's the fourth line.
A 4th liner, defensive player, 4th liner. So there's that. Not saying it was great, but he was good. He talked a lot of shit, and he knew a lot about hockey. He's actually from Fort Francis in Canada. I don't know what province that is, but it's up by Michigan, up that way. But he's a good guy. He actually went to school, become a doctor in Miami, of all places. And I said, "Would you ever go back home to Canada?" He said, "Hell no, I love it here in Florida." I said, "Yeah, must be nice."
Yeah, once you go to Florida, you don't go back.
Yeah. Then after that, after Steve-O left, he would move back home to Wisconsin. I decided to moved out of the cities for a little bit, and I started North Star Sports podcast with Vince Wright and Justin Ekstrom. Vince Wright does a lot of stuff right now. He has a show called Sports Done Right. He calls himself the Minnesota Sports Governor of Minnesota. And then Justin Ekstrom works for KNSI in St. Cloud. He also does my Viking stuff as well too. So there's a lot of guys hit and miss, and they come and go. And I like giving people the chance to be heard and give them the opportunity to do new things and pursue the avenues that they want to pursue.
Yeah, that's kind of how we got started. It was just him and I would sit around, just family gatherings, get together, and we just blah 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 about music and sports. It's like, why don't we record this? And that's kind of how it all started, So sitting there babbling each other, telling each other how great and smart we are. Let's share our knowledge with everybody else.
Yes, of course.
That's how it started.
And do the ladies like it?
Our ladies, no. Other ladies, maybe.
Well, I have mine, surprisingly, she supports ours, but she's like, "All right, you do your show today." I'm like, "Yep." All right, we can do other things. Well, see you later. And I mean, I have girls in the past who were just kind of wasn't a big fan of the show, but actually, I'm surprised they let me do it. But yeah, it's when you have your girl who actually lets you do your shit. It's amazing having a good person who supports you and wants you to do better and wants to keep pushing you to do better.
Oh yeah, well the
It's
2 nights a week
awesome.
we do this. She's got her other things she does, so we've kind of like Mondays and Thursdays we do it, so she kind of lines up. Like she's out there binge watching her programs right now, so I'm in here doing this.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's like her time and my time. We Mondays and Thursdays are not date night, you know.
Yep. I
So
totally understand.
We each got our own thing. We also do the other part of the show we do is our songs part. 80s music, mostly 80s rock stuff.
Okay.
We've touched on a few country bands from the 80s. I see a lot of scuttlebutt about Mr. Garth Brooks lately. I know it's supposed to be a sports show, but you're the country guy. So is this just something blown up? Is he really put his foot in his mouth, or what's the deal?
Which part? Because I'm actually a huge Garth Brooks fan.
And musically, I love him. I think he's got a ton of talent in the world. I think he's an idiot for leaving Sandy and going out with Trisha Yearwood, though.
I think that it was gonna happen in time. They both knew. I mean, it wasn't gonna work out. Yeah, it doesn't suck for the kids, but I mean, I got separate families too, but still, it's.
So do I. Yep.
I think he knew that Trisha was gonna be the right person, and it has been, and his kids love her, and so that's obviously the main thing. But yeah,
has Garth gotten too political though? Is that his issue?
Yes and no, but he's always had political songs. If you look at "We Shall Be Free," that was a political song. He was actually supposed to be on singing the national anthem. God, what year was that? It was early '90s for a Super Bowl, and he was supposed to. We shall be free music video was supposed to play on a Super Bowl ad, and they were going to pull it, but they said if you pull that song, I'm not going to do the national anthem, because a lot of people felt it was too liberalish, and a lot of people were not a fan of it because it kind of is not the country music scene. But yeah, it was pretty damn close to getting pulled, and he was not going to do the national anthem if it got pulled. So the 11th hour finally said, all right, we'll keep it if you do the national anthem. Perfect. Did it. National anthem was great. We Shall Be Free was great. It still is one of the best songs out there for him. But yeah, other storyline out there that's Garth. I mean, you can say about the bodies thing. That's bullshit stuff. That stuff got made up a long time ago. And there's people that still out there still say it. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck does it even mean. But then I dug in more into it, and Tom Segura brought it up, and all of a sudden everybody has a sign that says "Where the body's Garth" and all the good shit. But that's such a hot rumor that is not really, I guess, not really hot. I call it the rummer. It's not really hot. It's just more of this, like, just stupid. Right. There's no bodies. There's just stupid.
Because we actually did for our album review one time. We did the Chris Gaines album.
Oh yeah, that one was.
That
one was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a movie. I was supposed to follow it.
Yeah.
And then supposed to be in the life of Chris Gaines, and then the movie never came about. So then he has this album just sitting out there, just going nowhere. And there's actually some decent songs on there too.
I liked it.
But yeah, I liked it too. There's actually some good songs on there. I don't know. He just felt like just kind of got thrown out there, and people just bashed the shit out of him for it. But I think overall, for what he did, and he actually took a stand and tried something new, because he's been to the top, and hey, let's try a new avenue. And he did that. I think he's done great with it.
Because it was at the point where some people were kind of going, he could sing the phone book and it would be the #1 album, because it was Garth Brooks' name. And some people said when he did the Chris Gaines stuff, he was just being cocky, going, watch this, it'll sell. And it never did. Because he redid he did Shameless by Billy Joel. Did a good cover of that one. He did that Kiss song.
Yep.
Go blank on that Kiss.
Hard Luck Woman.
Now.
Yes.
Yep.
Hard Luck Woman.
That's
yes.
what I wanted.
And that was he did pretty good on that cover of Hard Luck Woman, I thought too.
Well, he was on stage with Jay Leno, or is that It was a
I've
Jay
seen
Leno
that
show
one
that he did that on.
with Paul and
And I
Gene
think
and
the
the whole
cover is
band.
actually, yep. I think that was actually with the song is actually ripped from that from that performance on Jay
Yep.
Leno.
Because he said he grew up as a Kiss fan and a Billy Joel fan were big influences of his. I had seen both of those bands in concert before I saw him, and he kind of does kind of meld those two concerts into one, you know.
Yeah, and I love it.
The pyrotechnics of Kiss, but the whole Billy Joel part about being in every section of the stage for songs, that was kind of cool.
Well, we should ask Matt about the Dolly Parton Rockstar.
Now, yes, we've covered that album. Have you heard that one yet?
I haven't. Last time I saw Dolly Parton was on Thanksgiving, and I think everybody was pretty pleased when they saw Dolly Parton compared to like what they saw on the Lions half. I don't know who the hell that guy even was, but for the Lions halftime was pretty pissed for. Oh, I'm gonna throw this out there. So the Pop-Tart bowl game.
Yes.
They had more shit in that one compared to the halftime performance for Thanksgiving in Detroit. It blew my mind because when you see photos and you see videos of from afar from the fans sitting, it's just like this little igloo thing, and that's all it was. There was no big pyro, there's no big stage. I was like, wow, Detroit put a lot of money into this one.
Yep. Now, speaking of the Pop-Tart bar, you brought that up. College bowl games. Is there too many of them?
Mm-hmm. Yes. The Gophers should have never been to the one where they were. But money talks, and the Gophers need money because they want to get this NIL shit going. And I believe, kind of coming off of that, NIL is there needs to be a cap for each conference. Each conference has a cap limit of how much they can spend per team, not per player, but per team.
Well, Reggie Bush came out saying that's basically why Nick Saban retired at Alabama, because he just couldn't control the players.
Oh, you can't. I mean, you can't. If you don't have the NCAA not regulating the cap, you're going to have this wildfire of players going wherever the hell they want, just like the transfer portal, going wherever the hell they want with no really repercussions on anything. They can start the next year if they really wanted to. It's stupid. I hate the transfer portal. I get it. I don't like I don't like it when you leave that year. Say, fuck it, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like Calic Mattis, he left. He said, well, I don't want to be here. He's a sophomore. I believe you should play 2 years, actually play 2 years at a school, just like how basketball is, like college basketball. You got to play 2 years before you can go pro. Well, no, sorry. The NFL, you got to play 2 years in the college for football before you can go pro. The NBA, I believe that's nothing. NBA should do that too. You got to play at least 2 years in the NBA. Get your education, get some type of education, because you're not going to be able to fall on sports for your whole entire life. That's why you see a lot of young players who just become bankrupt because they don't know how to manage their money. They don't have the right agents. They don't have the right accountants to do all this shit. They're just like, oh, it's free money. Let's fucking spend it.
Well, that's why a lot of guys, Marvin Harrison Jr., they say he's going to the draft now, but he could have made more in college on NIL than the rookie contract.
It's also who you surround your people with, too. If you have a very tight group core, you'll be fine. Now, these kids nowadays, they will have all these people, all this social media. Don't get me wrong, I'm on every social media as well, too. But these kids now, they don't understand. And yet, at that age, for me, I was the same way, too. I didn't understand. I was like, oh, it's money. Let's just blow stuff. Let's just do all this and this and this. So I totally understand where they're getting from, but so they need somebody in their corner where they can have somebody who can just be there and tell them, like, hey, let's not spend money here. Let's look at this and this and this.
Now, so, you look back at college basketball. Yeah, they just had a thing today about the Fab Five in Michigan. With the NIL and the transfer portal and that, all these kids play these McDonald's All-Star games in high school and this and that. Is there going to be another group of five that can say, let's all go to this college? Kind of like a dream team for the NBA. Go wherever you go.
As much as I want it to be.
Let's transfer portal in a year somewhere and go undefeated as a team.
Mm-hmm. As much as I want it to be like that, it won't. Because money talks and money's going to sway you to go wherever you I don't know, wherever you want to go. My big thing is for my oldest, he's 13 and plays very well in sports. I said, I don't care what school you go to, as long as you get a scholarship, I do not care. Go to that school that gives you the scholarship.
Get that education because, as any athlete will tell you, one shot to the knee, you're done.
Yep. He also told me if he doesn't get a scholarship to go to the military, I said, hell yeah, whatever you want to do, I'm proud of you for whatever you want to do. Just long as you spend your money right, spend your time right, do the right thing, be a good person, be a part of society. Don't be an idiot who live out the government. But that's different story for a different day too.
Now, hockey and baseball, you could still play minor leagues in college and still have your amateur status. I mean, hockey guys are going all over like that.
Yeah.
Do you think basketball and football need something like that to maybe keep these kids in college longer, but play a junior league type stuff?
I could see that, but a lot of these kids growing up will probably playing like I don't know. I do like the aspect of what hockey does have, but also I like what baseball has too, because baseball has tons of. They have fall leagues, they have summer leagues, they have winter leagues, they have all these other leagues that they can go to and still in peak performance and still keep themselves going. They just don't go home and say, "Well, fuck it, I'm gonna go to Cancun for the weekend," or "I'm gonna go somewhere and just be done with my whole off season." A lot of these guys actually just go somewhere and just play ball and continue to play ball. I mean, there's a new league overseas somewhere. I want to say it was in India or something. They have these old people out there, like the guys who we used to watch in the early to mid 2000s.
Yep.
Out there just swinging the bat and throwing balls. I'm like, bring them back. Fuck it. They look good.
It's like the senior league over there or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And I love it.
To grow the game. Which is kind of like, okay, talk about the college football, like the Beavers or NDSU. I like watching that football compared to, say, the Big Ten or the SEC, because the guys at BSU, when you watch them play, they're playing to win, not playing to be on Sports Center.
Yeah.
Just like the other schools, which is kind of like why I'm watching the women's sports, because the WNBA or now this new professional women's hockey, because they're playing for love of the sport, not to be on Sports Center.
Correct. And I like the passion that they have. And I like the passion they have here at BSU, NDSU, SCSU, all the U's here, the FCS level, where they know they're probably not going to go pro somewhere, but they're going to get a good education and wherever school they go to, and they're going to thrive wherever they go. You know, if you look at NDSU, pulled a lot of good players in the past few years of the draft. SCSU is now doing that. Try to think of what else nearby that's FCS level that's doing the same. I guess USD and Vermilion is doing that.
Grizz have a couple guys going on. There's one guy from somewhere out Holy Cross has a guy that's going to go. So each team has like their pro rep in a way, but
yeah, and which is good. I mean, I'm not saying like not have players go pro, because leave your dream, but you also got to have the opportunity to get your education, because obviously education is way more important than just sports, because you got to have something to fall back on, like I said earlier.
Right. That's really all I got. Did you want to plug your social media sites and your show?
Sure. Yeah, sure. You can find Beer Belly Sports. We record our shows every Wednesday. Then we do a live stream on the second half of the show where we play a lot of games. The sports is kind of the beginning part. We play a lot of games in the second half. We just have fun, talk shit, and just drink and just have a good time. You can find Beer Belly Sports at BB Sports MN on any social media. Of course, we have our stickers too. Beer Belly Sports, you can find all of our merch. You go to Etsy.com. You can find look up Beer Belly Sports. All of our merch is on there. I think there's over 136 items on there on Etsy for Beer Belly Sports. And then coming soon we'll have, hopefully, talk about Blue Ox baseball. There's a good chance that we will be broadcasting Blue Ox baseball, talking about my baseball career. I'm a lefty pitcher. I'm a P1 type of guy. I throw a two-seam, a four-seam, and a little bit of a slider. I like throwing right at guys' hands against righties, because I'm a two-seamer right away off the gates, off a 0 pitch, two-seamer right in the hands. I'll go away with the four-seamer. Either it's going to be a slider to the slider out, or I'm going to go back to the two-seamer in the hands. So that's usually the kind of pitches I throw. I didn't throw hard. I was more of a good setup guy for the guy who could throw a lot harder than me. I was more of I change the speed, I change your eyesight, and the next guy comes in, throws heat, and then we go home. Screw it. Good day. Now
You were Mark Guthrie back in the day.
Yeah, I just said, well, done, out of here. I don't have problems riding the pine for a few days on the bench too when we play town ball.
Great.
Yeah, we cover a lot of over 35 senior men's league on the show as well. Federal league
Nice.
down in the Twin Cities, so we cover a lot of that, and a lot of baseball, a lot of town ball, a lot of state tournament preview shows and things like that. So we're hoping to do a couple shows ourselves, Andy, on site at some of these locations.
Nice.
We had one guy this year for the Watertown Red Devils, a super fan there. We sponsored him for the 999 challenge. 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, 9 innings.
Let's go.
He was keeping up, and we picked a team that was at, this is going 9 innings. We 10 runned them after 7.
Well, you better double up there, sir.
So he took the next half hour, got 2 more hot dogs, 2 more beers down. We called it good.
Called it, yeah,
Completed
the deal.
I love it. What a guy.
Fun stuff like that we do here.
Yeah.
He goes, what do you mean by sponsor me for? He goes, what do you mean by sponsor me for? And I said, we'll pick up your concession stand tab, but if you get sick, that's on you.
Little clauses in there.
He goes, all right, deal. He goes, I get to eat and drink for free one night. Where do I sign?
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're looking to do some more of those.
That's awesome for down in Cannon Falls with the Bears. After every game, we sit up by the concession stands and we drink tons of Busch Light. So that's where I kind of that's where I got my Busch Light fixes from playing with the Bears in Cannon Falls. And not saying I was great, but my last season is for a reason. I pitched good for in the bullpen. I was pitching okay, and then I went out and I threw probably 3 or 4 balls actually in the inning, and my elbow went, pah, and I was like, oh shit, and I just kept pitching. Now I have guys on base. I have guys that are on, guys on first and second. I'm not even looking at my players anymore. I'm just throwing the ball. I'm not checking anybody. I'm just throwing. I'm missing spots left and right. Okay, the pole locking me is going, we're fine. Let's keep going.
It's only a flesh wound.
The skipper comes out. Yeah, it's only a flesh wound. It's fine. The skipper comes out and said, are you all right? I'm like, no, I'm in a lot of pain. Okay, you're done. Okay. And I went back and it's like, fuck, that was a bad idea. And then the next few days kind of hurt. And I put some Tiger Balm on it for a while, did stretches, did, just nice, easy things. And I knew right then my pitching days are done. And I moved to first base, even though we have 3 other first basemen. And I'm like, well, my season's basically over. So I've become more of their BP arm, which is okay. Kind of still kept my arm in shape. And I don't know why. I can throw BP all day, but I can't throw hard anymore. It's not there.
Oh, it was fun while it lasted.
But you're able to have the Busch lattes on the hill after the game.
Mm-hmm. The Busch lattes on the hill was amazing.
Good memories. Good memories.
Good memories to have.
Anything else, Andy?
No, just hopefully if you can make it down the 18th of February, keep us posted.
I have it written down. I'm going to talk to the guys on Wednesday.
You might have to miss church that morning, but come on down.
Oh, no.
It's a good time.
It's a good time. I love it.
It's a good time. Well, Matt, thanks. Matt from Beer Belly Sports joining us here tonight. Thanks for your time. Good luck with everything. We'll hopefully be in touch here for future shows.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. We'll have you guys on the show too. We'll bring you on. Right. If you're ever up in Bemidji, come up, hang out, have a beer with us, have a beer at the bar. We'll have a good time.
We'll have to do that. That's awesome. All right. Thanks again.
Yep, thanks.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.